All right, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Chamber Pod. JML, Charlie,
Yo,
back at it again with another look back in time. Royal Rumble 1995. Um, the year 1995, I was 9 years old. I was 9 years old. When you're 9 years old, you remember things a lot differently than when you go back and you see it as a now 36-year-old. Um, some things weren't as good as you thought they were. Royal Rumble 1995, certainly the case. Not the whole pay per view, but one big match in particular, and that's the Royal Rumble event itself, the match. Um, we'll talk more about that once we get to it, but that's how I felt watching this back. Charlie, your thoughts, your hellos to the audience, whatever you want to say here.
hello everybody. In watching it back, it was a rare Royal Rumble where the match card was definitely better than the Rumble match itself. I also realized that was it the first time that they did the 1 minute intervals in Royal Rumble contestants,
Mm-hmm.
which made the Rumble seem to matter a lot less because you would hear in other Rumbles, oh, this guy's been in the Rumble for 45 minutes now. And this Rumble as a whole only lasted, 38 and a half minutes? Something around that mark?
38-41.
38-41. And that, now that, and I'm a Shawn Michaels guy first and foremost, but that, to me, took a bit away from him going bell to bell in the Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what getting back to what I had said during the opening monologue, I'm like, man, he went 60 minutes or whatever. And now I realize, I mean, he basically participated in one of his normal matches
Yeah,
at that time. I mean, it was still a feat, but it wasn't as impressive as Ric Flair in '92.
definitely.
So Royal Rumble 1995, called on commentary by Vince and Jerry. So I was very happy to see those two in the booth. It was better than what we got at Survivor Series, which was Gorilla and Vince in cowboy hats. Because, yeehaw, because they're in Texas. Typical. Star of the night wasn't a wrestler. This was a big get for WWF at the time. Quite possibly the biggest star or tabloid star in the world. Starlet. Babe. Right? Pamela Anderson. Heavily featured throughout this event. What do you think? Do you think this was a big get for them? I think it was.
Definitely. She was at her peak at the time.
And you could tell star power was a little down for WWF because they feature Pam and they feature someone else, which leads to that person having a WrestleMania match. And the other thing that stuck out to me was the match placement. Now hindsight being 2020, it all makes sense, but the tag match being the last match before the Rumble, it definitely stuck out to me when I was looking at the match card before I rewatched the pay-per-view. But now it makes sense. The event kicks off the first match. Very good Intercontinental title match. Jeff Jarrett, Razor Ramon. WWF always seems to put a pretty good opening match on their pay-per-views. I thought this one was really, really good. Jeff Jarrett picks up the win. Razor sold his leg. I have a qualm about that because another match they have the selling of the leg as well. It's like, man, how many matches are going to have the leg spots? Jeff Jarrett picks up the win, first Intercontinental Championship, I believe.
Yeah.
Him and Road Dogg were great together. It was a great pairing. Your thoughts, match? Like what did you think?
Also, first the match went to a countout victory for Jeff Jarrett, and then Jeff got on the mic and said he's not here for a countout victory. He's not here for his hand to be raised. He's here to bring home the Intercontinental Championship. And the referee started the match, and then
Jeff Jarrett, he called Razor yellow as his ring gear.
And the referee called to restart the match, and Jeff played the leg, and
it looked like Razor was going to win. He had him in the Razor's edge,
and his leg gave out. And Jeff Jarrett put him in the small package and 1-2-3 victory.
Yep. Man, I hated Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah,
but
when I was little, I hated him too.
But he's like one of the nicest guys in the business. Like, he's a cool dude. So, I mean, he definitely did his job right. I mean, I think the modern day version of Jeff Jarrett is The Miz. Like, The Miz is like always like the ultimate heel, and like people don't like him, but he's like a cool dude outside of the ring. It's like the same thing. Jeff Jarrett was an underrated Intercontinental Champion.
How long were his reigns, though?
This reign would go from, I believe, from Royal Rumble to the In Your House in July. So we're talking about almost 7 months. And then he left the company.
Yeah.
Then he came back, and I think we know the story about Jeff Jarrett.
It's been told enough times.
It's been told. But he's kind of an underrated guy. Razor doesn't pick up the victory here. They have a rematch at WrestleMania as well. So, furthering the storyline, long-term storytelling, which they did back in this day. Next match, you want to talk about long-term storytelling that went on for way too long? This is it. The Undertaker, IRS have a match with Ted DiBiase. How long did this feud need to go with The Undertaker and the $1 Million Corporation?
They could have told it a lot shorter than it went on.
They squandered a year and change of The Undertaker's prime with with feuds with the $1 Million Corporation and and a Yokozuna that shouldn't have been wrestling singles matches. Like, this is, I wouldn't say this is like peak performance Undertaker, but this is like certainly an Undertaker that should have been in the main event. Not wrestling IRS at Royal Rumble, King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 11.
One of the biggest wastes of his streak matches.
Kama at SummerSlam. Like, what the hell? Like, the early booking of The Undertaker, it kills me. He literally, the early booking wasn't bad because he wins the championship within the first year. Beats Hulk Hogan, right? Then the title gets held up, but after that, it's like The Undertaker was just in feuds with random people. He had a WrestleMania match against Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah. Another big waste of a Taker WrestleMania match.
The first, after his first year, Undertaker's 1993, 1994, and 1995, you could say WWF wasted The Undertaker. Absolutely wasted him. And it doesn't, and then once 1996 comes around and they get him with Mick Foley, I think the wheels start to turn again
Yeah,
for The Undertaker.
definitely.
But IRS, this is around the time where I think IRS was starting to lose some of his in ring ability. He was way out of shape. I did not like this match at all.
I didn't like the finish of it. IRS was big at the time, but he wasn't too big to take a tombstone pile driver. Why this match finished in a choke slam, I couldn't understand.
Uh, this is it upsets me that the Undertaker had 3 years of his career just absolutely obliterated by bad booking.
Yeah.
And it just came to me now looking at it. But it is what it is. The Undertaker, obviously, quite arguably the greatest superstar in WWE history or character. But his first few years, man, some terrible booking. Then we have the WWF Championship on the line in a match that went 27 minutes plus. Crazy. Diesel and Bret Hart. I liked the match, didn't like the shenanigans. And they had to have the shenanigans. Why, Charlie? Why did they have to have the shenanigans?
To build towards WrestleMania matches for the two of them.
But also because they booked themselves in a corner. How did they book themselves in a corner?
How?
Babyface versus babyface. New champion versus the old champion.
True.
This seemed like a direction this didn't need to go. Why didn't we see Diesel and Backlund in another match? I get it. He beat him in 8 seconds, but they could have booked a match where Backlund wasn't prepared for Diesel. They have a longer match. Diesel still wins. Bret could have been in the Rumble. Bret could have been, like, I get it, but I think this match took away from Diesel more than anything else. It made him look weak. The whole thing with his leg getting beat down. We never saw this with Diesel. The whole entire run up until now. His first pay-per-view defense, you make him look weak and you make him look second fiddle to Bret.
I think they still weren't past Bret carrying the flag at this time. I think they wanted to make Bret look stronger than Diesel in this match, but not have him win the championship, which is what we got at the end of the match. They what was it? The referee couldn't keep control in the ring, so it was a
Can
draw.
you explain to me why Jarrett and Rhodey were out there?
No, I couldn't.
Uh, it it was a good match. The shenanigans took away from it, and I'm just not happy with the way they booked
Diesel.
And it started like they changed his music, they made him smile, they did all of this babyface stuff right away with him.
The first, well, I know it's the first pay per view. Did he have that new music on Raw and
Yeah,
at the time? Okay.
yeah, but they they do this often. Seth Rollins, when he won the Universal title from Lesnar, after that, they made him. He cut a promo. We do this together. This is our championship. Smiley babyface, and it's like, man, that's not the guy that I want to see as champion. I
Yeah,
want to see the guy that I was cheering who was a rebel. And it seems like they do that with almost everyone, except they didn't do it with Austin. And look what happened.
true.
But it's neither here nor there. Can't change the past. We can only look back with our thoughts and opinions. The next match, basically the main event match before we get to the Rumble match. 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Holly versus Bam Bam Bigelow and Tatanka.
Very out of shape Tatanka once again.
Yes, he looked like the Michelin, and for that matter, Bigelow was starting to get out of shape. Well, I mean,
Well,
Bigelow was never, but he was certainly packing on the pounds.
yeah.
Yeah, Tatanka looked bad, and this show has been pro Tatanka since we started.
Yep.
We're both big Tatanka fans. You could tell he was not happy as a heel. Not happy as a heel. This was the tag team tournament final for the vacant WWF Tag Team Championship. Why was the WWF Tag Team titles vacant? That's a good question. It's a good question.
I thought you were putting me on the spot with that. I have no idea. Can we pull that up?
Yeah, we can pull that up. We can pull it up. Talk about the match a little bit as I pull up the reason of why the titles were vacant.
Is it me or was it a very cookie cutter tag match?
It was very cookie cutter.
Especially for finals of a tournament that we still need to figure out what it was for. Like we said, Bam Bam and Tatanka were not in the best shape of their lives, and they were up against the primed 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Holly. Yeah.
Who was ringside?
Oh, Lawrence Taylor was ringside watching this match with a few of the other giants. And at match's end, the crowd was laughing at Bam Bam Bigelow for taking the loss, and he went around ringside shouting, "Stop laughing at me," and other slurs to the fans. And he got to LT, and LT stood up and started laughing in his face, and he pushed LT down to the concrete floor and got in his face.
Yeah. So the tag team titles were vacant because of Survivor Series 1994. Diesel and Michaels had the titles.
Oh, okay. So that split vacated the championship?
Yes.
Okay.
So 1-2-3 Kid, Bob Holly, thrown together tag team. They win the belts.
Only to lose them to the Smoking Guns the night after, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like 1-2-3 Kid. I mean, he had 2 tag team title runs early, like in his first, like with Sean Waltman.
Yeah.
He had one of which with Jannetty, where then they dropped it like the next day or like a few days later. And then he had this one with Holly the next day. Crazy. The $1 Million Corporation, probably one of the worst factions of all time. They did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Aside from take the urn.
No one won a championship in the $1 Million Corporation. The best thing to come out of the $1 Million Corporation was Stone Cold Steve Austin when he intentionally lost the strap match to get rid of DiBiase. But all right, so we have the main event, 30-man Royal Rumble,
Least star-studded Rumble I've seen in a
a
while.
Royal Rumble match that went 38 minutes and 41 seconds. Let me name off some of the luminary people in this Royal Rumble match.
Was awful.
We have such luminaries and legends in this match, like Eli Blue, Duke,
Jake Blue.
Duke the Dumpster Drose, Chester the Molester, Jimmy Del Rey, Sione. I'll give Sione a pass. It's just a bad name. I mean, apparently Sione is his real name in real life. Didn't know that. But he's the barbarian to me. Dr. Tom Pritchard, the overweight Doink the Clown, Quang, Rick Martel, he's decent. Owen Hart, legend. Timothy Well, who the hell is that? Bushwhacker Luke, comedy act. Jacob Blue, King Kong Bundy, Mo, Mabel, Bushwhacker Butch, Lex Luger, okay. Mantar.
It's almost like it was supposed to be low quality wrestlers to make Lex have that much more of a bang when he came in.
Mantar. Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese man of war.
Portuguese man of war.
Henry O. Godwin, Billy Gunn, Bart Gunn, Bob Backlund, who got eliminated in like 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Stephen Dunn, part of Well Done. Dirty Dick Murdoch, Adam Bomb, Fatu, and Crush. Crush eliminated 5 people in this Rumble. If this isn't the worst Royal Rumble field of all time, show me one that's worse. In the comments, literally clip a Rumble field that is worse than this one. I dare you. I dare you. If you can find a Royal Rumble match worse than this one, we will review it.
The minute intervals didn't help either. And they tried hyping it up like, oh, this is the fastest paced Royal Rumble in history.
Looking back with the rose-colored glasses, you remember the ending of this.
Yep.
And it stands out because it was the first time that spot was done with the 1 foot touching the ground. We thought Davey Boy won. His music plays. Michaels comes back in, tosses Davey Boy over. Michaels wins the Rumble. He's on to WrestleMania 11 to face Diesel. In the co-main event, not the main event, and the match didn't go on last. Yes, the main event for WrestleMania 11 was Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow.
Which you must have been thrilled about.
And the most insulting thing was, I don't know if you remember this, Charlie, but who trained Lawrence Taylor in the kayfabe storyline? Who trained them?
I don't know.
Diesel.
No.
Yeah. So Diesel trains him, and then LT is in the main event and not him.
Wow.
It would have made more sense if he trained him. He got the main event, and then Diesel like celebrated with LT, then jackknifed him and turned heel again. That would have been better. But yeah, Royal Rumble 95, quite possibly the worst. Well, it's not the worst. I don't know how to feel.
It wasn't good. It only built up what? It only built up Backlund and Hart. The Rumble match itself, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Backlund and Hart, and what else did it do?
Nothing. The only thing that I can remember, or this has to be the worst Rumble that I remember. Like off the top of my head, this is the worst Royal Rumble. This is worse than '93 because we went over '93. That match didn't have luminaries, but it had more luminaries than this one. Yeah, this is bad. 95 as a whole. Uh we're gonna have to skip over. We're gonna have to skip over for now. So I don't think I can stomach anything past WrestleMania. And that's what we're gonna do. If the fans disagree, comment down below. You can, you know, comment your outrage. We'll change course, but I think we're gonna go and we're gonna start with 1996. So I think things get much better in 1996. Charlie, your thoughts?
This was really, really horrible Royal Rumble. And at first, I wasn't for the idea of going over, going past 95 and into 96. But then we sat down and actually spoke of what pay per views happened in 1995. And it's a wise decision for us to not put ourselves or you guys through the torture that was the rest of 1995 in WWF.
But if you guys still want to see it, by all means, let us know. We'll make it happen. But we're going to go forward with 96.
Starting with the Royal Rumble.
Starting with the Royal Rumble. Thank you so much. Charlie, anything you want to say to our audience?
Thank you for helping us reach 330.
We're like 340. We'll say we're 340.
Thank you for helping us reach 340 subscribers. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And videos.
Yeah, there's people that watch and they don't hit subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It helps us. It helps with the YouTube algorithm when it comes to recommending content. I appreciate it. By the way, the more comments that we get across the channel, but especially this video, it helps. With that being said, what I will do, if we can get at least 10 comments on this video, I will do a YouTube comment picker. You'll be added to a duck race. The duck race at the end of the month will give you a prize. Okay? So do some comments, like the videos, support us. We love you. Thank you as per usual. Good night and good luck.
Peace.